Welcome, everybody, to Roland Cowan Stadium and another presentation of the Queensland Basketball League Game of the Week by Nothing But Net Media, Australian Sports Network, Stream Team Australia, and, of course, Basketball Queensland. We've got a huge matchup for you here this afternoon as the reigning, defending, two-time QBL champion Townsville Heat visit the Spartans here at Southern Districts. It should be a good game. I'm joined by Dave Derwin and Regan Baker. Guys, should be a great matchup. On paper, you look at the statistics, you got Townsville with one loss in third place, Spartans at 2-4 in 11th place. You might think it might be a bit one-sided, but I think this is going to be a great game.
Well, I think it is, and I think the key for them, obviously, is for the Spartans, is they need to disrupt Townsville here. They've got a couple of new stars coming in Wiltshire and Anderson, obviously known to the QBL, but they've got to do a better job. Well, they've got to do a better job than they did against Brisbane a couple of weeks ago when we were here, of taking them out of their stuff. Number one rebounding team in the league, Townsville, and they're pretty deep. They got guys who can average 10, 11, 12, and a lot of their guys can do that. So I think Spartans are going to have to do it, collectively, but obviously no Darryl McDowell White today and no Scott Kenny certainly hurts them.
Yeah, it certainly does, and you mentioned a couple of returning stars. Those are big names with championship experience in Jamel Anderson and Josh Wiltshire for Townsville. Wiltshire, year in and year out, one of the best guards, one of the best players in the QBL. What's a player like him bring to a group like Townsville?
Well, I just think, there's just that poise that he brings, which you just can't teach, and to his level of experience and quality just adds a tremendous amount. Again, because they know they've been tested. I mean, they've obviously been one of the best teams for the last few years in the league, and bringing in Anderson and Wiltshire is certainly pretty handy. No Frolling, which I think is a big part of why they were successful last year as well. But equally, they've got a good group. And the other guys are chipping in too. Tudor Hope and Betts and Reese, they're all playing really well too.
Yeah, and you forgot to mention John O'Mines, who's had a really great start to the season. I think for the Southern District Spartans, though, also, you mentioned no Scott Kenny and no Darryl McDowell White, but they still have Chris Whitehead, Callum Dalton, Jake Allen, and Josh Dirksen, who's been excellent this season. I think this is a group that really, when I spoke to Coach Scheibner before the season, he really felt that they could contend for the top 8, and they certainly can. They've been able to hang with some of the top clubs in the competition, and I wouldn't expect anything different from them this afternoon.
No, not at all, and I think, Scheibs has done a really good job with this group so far. The 2-4 record he'd be disappointed with, but Dirksen's had a really good bounce back year. Obviously, Jake's come over from the Southwest, so they've had a lot of new faces, and so this Townsville group's been together. You'd probably argue the best part of 5 or 6 years. Probably they're all half the group played since they're probably 12 together.
Yeah.
So they have that advantage, and I think again the Spartans showed plenty of good signs against the Caps, and so if they just got to get it together and play for that full 48, for that full 40.
Yeah, and Townsville comes in off a huge 50-point win last night over North Gold Coast as Whitehead gets inside, misses. Townsville grabs the rebound. Returning to the court for Townsville, Ethan Betts this season. He's been great, and he gets blocked, but they're going to get Callum Dalton for the foul. Nice take there from Ethan Betts. Getting to the free throw line on the first possession of the game. You got to like that aggressiveness from young Ethan Betts on the drive.
Sorry, Johnny, just getting the old headset and so forth adjusted. Thanks, Riggs.
Betts, if you remember, Dave, we didn't see him a lot last season. I think it was, I'm assuming it was something to do with college, but he was tremendous in that grand final series versus Mackay a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah, he's, and again, he's really come on, and I think no PC to get today for Townsville, which is interesting again, but a lot of these guys, they do it by committee.
Whitehead turns it over, pounding the rock a bit there. Chris Whitehead looking for someone, nothing was open.
Yeah, nothing, which is a little alarming when you're 30 seconds in and you don't really know what you're running. Again, Townsville have been really good to start the season. Number 1 in steals too, Johnny, so, they're active, they're a veteran group.
Tude Hope had a big one last night in that big win over North Gold Coast. Reese, turnaround hook shot, rolls home.
Well, Coach Anderson, a.k.a. Townsville's media manager, was pumping them up on Facebook. Good defense, another turnover.
Good hands there.
Did old Tudor Hope got hot there for a little bit, banged a few threes in a row.
Yeah, Keegan Tudor Hope's been doing it for a while. He's the captain of the Heat, and Probably one of their unsung heroes, really. It doesn't always look like when you look at the stat sheet. He might not always fill it up for you, but he does a bit of everything. Spartans get a stop, and they look to convert on the other end. Dalton, top of the key three. That's good. We're tied at 3. Again, few familiar faces in the crowd here. Dave, some QBL faithful. Bullets guard Jeremy Kendall. See him in the crowd there as well. Coming off of ACL surgery and injury, and hopefully Jeremy will recover quickly and recover well, because he's a great guy and a great player. As Dalton tries to hit another, that one doesn't fall.
Well, he wasn't giving it up. He had the jump shot ready to rumble. He's been shooting it okay. I think he's about 30% from the 3 this year. Again, some people might look at the stats and go, think he should be more than 13 a game. But, for young bigs, it takes a little while for them to, again, learn their roles and just develop. So I think he's having a really good year.
Well, one thing that I always talk about, and I probably don't talk about it a lot on air, I guess, Dave, is the way that they referee the game these days. It's really hard for big guys to get as involved in the offense, I think, as they'd like, particularly on that interior play. It's just that they don't let you play as physical, I think, as you need to be effective offensively as a big man.
Oh,
another turnover.
Two bad turnovers for Whitehead to start.
I think that's the third. Yeah, it's already the third turnover.
Yeah.
3 all, 2.5 into this one. Betts gets inside, blocked from behind by Greenwich, but referee Mark Mill calls the foul as Greenwich got Betts on the head. And, geez, Ethan Betts, super aggressive here to start. He's been attacking the rim with abandon.
Yeah, he's been really good, averaging 12 and 5 for them this year, Johnny. So, as I said, I gave Brizzy a bit of love earlier in the year for being the deepest squad potentially, and you could easily say that Townsville will give him a crack as well. Brisbane, good win the other night as well. Plenty of guys getting minutes, plenty of guys getting points.
Betts hits them both, gives his team a 2-point lead. Interesting to see Josh Wiltshire out there. Got back to Australia on Thursday, and boom, let's hit the road for a couple games of a road trip. So Wiltshire certainly has plenty of basketball in his legs, maybe just not the Australian basketball in his legs just yet.
Good D. Great job, John O'Mines.
Yeah, great job there by Mines, establishing position and forcing the big man to shuffle his feet. 4th turnover already for Spartans, Dave. We're 2:45 into this one.
Well, and I wouldn't say that was that on that particular occasion great D from Townsville, but the other couple of times it was just sloppy.
Wiltshire, wing 3 is up. That's off.
Townsville love that play. Bit of Old Faithful for Wiltsh there.
Mines.
Woo! Just energy. Yeah, that's all it is.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Just a lot more energy coming from this Townsville group and from this Spartans unit at the moment. Dalton spins baseline, then goes back. Hook shot, no good. Gets his own rebound. Goes back to the hook shot to lay it in.
Big fella. Couple of nice moves there, good counters. Reese did a pretty good job of defending him, and great move from Dalton early. And the reason why we didn't get to see him a great deal last time, Johnny, is got in foul trouble against Brisbane.
Dave and I were here for the Spartans Capitals games as fans. Dave referring
that's
to
right.
that.
We didn't call that game. You're right.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah. Good take there by Wiltshire, getting inside, giving his team a 4-point lead. Whitehead stops and pops and gets one to drop. And Whitehead certainly capable, Dave, of getting hot within a millisecond. Mines inside, Euro step layup is good. I like the referee no call on that one as well. There was contact, but mostly initiated by Mines. Dirksen with the left hand, well short. Wiltshire grabs the rebound. Referees today, we've got Matty Crowley, Mark Mill, and Taylor Folkler. As Wiltshire gets inside, layup is good. That's a tough bucket there from Wiltshire. And Coach Rob Scheibner going to take a timeout. Not happy with his team's defense. We'll take a quick one as well with Townsville up by 6 on your QBL Game of the Week, presented to you by Nothing But Net Media. Back with you here at Roland Cowan Stadium. 6 points the lead for the Heat over the Spartans. Coach Scheibner taking the timeout. And Dave, you got to think he's talking defense in that timeout.
Well, a bit of defense and certainly a bit of commitment and attitude too. Townsville just getting in the paint whenever they feel like it. No defensive stand. Even Ane, the young guard. I want to see him to foul. I want to see him really get up and into Wiltshire, right? I'll give him a tip. Watch the finals, see how Van Vliet's guarding Steph Curry. Make it difficult, not just contain. When you're going to get a guy like Wiltshire, you want to be a pain in the ass for the whole game. So, especially from, Ane's come in, got a start today. That's how they need to defend him, and I'll be picking him up the whole way.
Like the aggressive play out of Cam Dalton on the offensive end here early too, Dave?
He's been really good. Obviously, a big focal point of their offense as long as they move after they give it to him and don't just leave him.
Seeing Jamel Anderson on the court for the first time this afternoon. Anderson returning to Townsville after a year off from the group. Mines gets inside, step back jumper's up, and good.
Well, if you remember last year, like I've known Jono a long time, Southwest Junior, and we dish out, we keep it real here. He was pretty average for Spartans last year, right? He's been tremendous for Townsville this year. So change of scenery has been really good for him. I think he's on, averaging 22 a game in number 10 for the league this year. Jono Mines, he's been terrific.
And a lot of that has to do with the depleted roster for Townsville at the start of the season. Now back to full strength. It'll be interesting to see how he adjusts after having such a prominent role to start the season. You got to think he'll still be a prominent feature, but maybe not getting as many shots as he had early in the season. Mines fires a three, gets that one to fall as well. He's hot here to start the quarter. It's an 18-9 lead for Townsville over Spartans.
I was enjoying the Allen and Mines matchup. Obviously, their fathers have been pretty prominent guys around the scene as well. It's always cool to watch.
Water has it. Drives baseline, dumps it inside for Elliott, who kicks it out. Dalton, another three. It's up and good. Nice ball movement and a great hit from the big man.
Yeah, much better from the Spartans then. Just by simply beating their man, getting feet in the paint from Ane.
Mines at the elbow, working on Elliott, floats one up, it's short, gets his own tip, misses that one. And Whitehead is then fouled by Jamel Anderson on the block. Don't know what Anderson's complaining about.
That's called the fresh off the plane foul.
Hey.
Little rusty.
Yeah. Anderson and Wiltshire both arriving from the UK, playing over in the BBL. I think we were talking off air. I think they met in the playoffs at some point as Anderson gets a steal and puts it down with one hand. Nice lead pass there from Wiltshire. Instant offense from the defense, Dave.
Yeah, well, a little predictable on the pass, and Dirkson's got to do a better job of getting open as well.
Mortar has it. Now Dirksen swings it around. Dalton again thinking about it from deep, working on Todd. Gets inside, puts it up, and that's good. Dalton, he's got real nice footwork for a big man, doesn't he? Anae Mortar gets called for the holding foul. That's the 15th foul on the Spartans, putting them in the penalty already. And Wiltshire going to go to the free throw line for 2 shots.
Yeah, to your point, really good patience and poise from Dalton in this first quarter, Johnny, because even last year, I think he lacked a bit of that, in the Spartans group. But he's had a great game.
Dalton has 12 of the 14 Spartans points here so far in the first quarter.
It'll be interesting how they involve Whitehead and Dirksen. Whitehead, 24 points a game. I think he's 6th in the league. And Josh Dirksen, as we said, has had a really good season as well, averaging 18.
Trap along the half-court line. Allen has it. Over to Elliott. Elliott reverse layup is good, plus the foul. It's a nice bucket there from Mitch Elliott. He's had really nice energy since he entered the game.
And that's what he has to do. He's got to come in and give them good minutes, because equally when Coach Shibes goes to the bench, the guys that he has on the bench are guys that are not dependable bench, if that makes sense. So if they're going to play well, they'll get more minutes. If they don't play so well, they'll get a hook, and the next guy can come in and have an opportunity. So when they come in, they've got to be ready to go. Great energy, great defense. Trying to slow Townsville down with a little token press.
Mines swings it over to Tudhope. He's wide open for 3. That one's no good. 3-point shot so far. Hasn't returned for Tudhope after some hot shooting last night. Allen from the free throw line shoots an air ball. Whitehead recovers and lays it in. 3 points the lead now for Townsville. 22-19, approaching the 2-minute mark of the first quarter.
Yeah, a little sloppy here for Townsville in the rebounding, Johnny. Just then, just allowing a couple of easy ones, and I know it was an air ball, but they've got to be ready to go.
Big block from Cal Dalton leads to a transition opportunity for Spartans. Whitehead goes right at the defense, lays in with the left hand, plus the foul. Woo! That was a smooth move there from Whitehead. Switching hands midair.
Sure,
he has an opportunity to tie the game. Checking in for Townsville, Logan Kyle. Jonathan Mines gets a breather.
Tudhope not happy.
He's been chatting a bit with referee Mark Mill for a bit to start this game.
It wasn't a huge, tough one. Didn't see much in it. I could easily see it not get called. Spartans, great comeback. 22 apiece.
Tied up at 22. Timeout on the floor. We'll take one as well with 1:52 to go in the first quarter. Your QBL Game of the Week presented to you by Nothing But Net Media. Back with you at Roland Cowan Stadium. Karina, good comeback here for the Southern District Spartans. Dave, they looked like Townsville was really taking over, and all of a sudden, timeout, Coach Scheibner and his troops just responded since.
Well, and again, it's not rocket science. They just did it with a bit of energy. And they didn't turn the ball over like they did 4 times in the first 5 minutes.
And Coach Anderson took that timeout, so we'll see how his team responds as Tudhope gets inside, dumps it off for Todd. He's fouled from behind.
And again, that just then, Johnny, came about through a little bit of energy, which is great, but again, no poise, and so Elliott went for a steal, got caught, help had to come, Tudhope fed Reese, foul.
Well, there's
not Reese, sorry, who was?
I always hear you say it, maybe not in these words, but there's good energy, and then there's bad energy, and that's the difference on that possession.
Absolutely. I mean, and again, let's be real. Tudhope, he's not really going to want to try and penetrate and take you one-on-one. That's not his thing, so just contain.
Todd goes 1 of 2. Matty Reese checks back in for Jackson Todd. Whitehead guarded by Jamel Anderson. We know head coach Rodney Anderson loves Jamel Anderson's defensive versatility. Allen goes to the left-handed hook shot. Can't get that one to fall. Wilcher, step back, kicks it to Anderson. Corner 3 is up. Too strong. Dalton with the defensive rebound. And Nate Mortar running the point for Spartans. As Allen gets it, spins left, throws one up, and gets it to bank home. It's a tough bucket there from Jake Allen. He is, like the Beastie Boys say, crafty.
And again, memo to young Kyle. He's a left-hander. He was always coming back off that catch. And that's what we just got to do when you're a young fella. Learn the game, make reads, see what guys are doing.
Matty Reese misses the left-handed floater. Whitehead gets it out in transition.
The hold for one.
There's about a 3-second difference between the game and the shot clock. Got to think Whitehead's going to try and get his to the rim here. Goes to the right hand, gets right to the rim and lays it in. That's too easy. 5 seconds left. Tudhope pushing it up court. Gets in the paint. Fadeaway jumper rolls in. That's a big bucket at the quarter time break as the Townsville Heat will go into quarter time down 1. And gee, that was an exciting finish there, Dave, because it looked like the Spartans were going to go in with a bit of momentum, but Tudhope sneaks one in right at the buzzer.
Well, he sneaks one in on the same mistake we just talked about. Again, you contain. What do you think he's trying to do with 4 or 5 seconds to go? He's going to put it on the deck and try and create. That's just a little bit of inexperience there from Spartans with some of their younger guys. So, but again, great effort from the Spartans to get back in the game, Johnny, that's for sure.
Excellent. Well, it is the quarter time break, so we'll take a quick one as well. We'll come back with some statistics in the second quarter of action of your QBL Game of the Week, presented to you by Nothing But Net Media, Australian Sports Network, Stream Team Australia, and of course, Basketball Queensland. Back with you here at Roland Cowan Stadium for the start of the second quarter of action. Dave, I know you're taking a look at some of those statistics. What's jumping out at you at the break?
Well, Dalton's obviously been terrific. 12 points on 6 shots. And just as I said, overall, a really good bounce back from Spartans after a pretty shaky start. And I think primarily it's just looking after the pill. Probably want to guard that guy.
Yeah, Wilcher missed the first short jumper and then drains a 3 just a couple of steps back. So
and the challenge for the Spartans is, you know, again, great energy that last few minutes. Can they keep doing that?
And they really, I think if Spartans do want to get a win today, I really think they need to get something out of Dirksen. He was quiet in that first quarter, missed a couple gimmies just down on that possession as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's been terrific, Johnny, but not many touches.
Whitehead, baseline jumper is up, rolls in and out.
And again, just one out, 4 dudes on the perimeter. No one moved, no one screening for each other.
Anderson gets it back from Tudhope, lays it up and in. That's a tough bucket there from Jamel Anderson. He's going to get a delay game warning for touching the ball as it fell through the net. Mitch Elliott going to get a breather. Checking in for the first time this afternoon, Ben Hastings.
Young fella.
Also on the floor, Troll Mortar. Ane's brother?
Yep.
The Mortar brothers,
Yep.
right?
Can certainly shoot the ball.
Jake Allen swings it over. Now Dirksen from the wing. He'll fire a three. That one rolls in and out. Tipped around. Wilcher comes down with it. Gets all the way to the rim. Misses, but he's fouled, so.
Well, that's just experience. Hastings came over and thought, should I try and put a body on and then just let him have the left hand? Again, you got it when you come in. You got to know the scout.
But you know, Coach Scheibner and his coaching staff, they definitely do a ton of scouting as
Absolutely.
well. So there's really no excuses there.
There is no excuse other than experience for the youngster. But good to see him getting some minutes.
Wilcher goes 1 of 2. His team's up 5, 31-26. Allen has it stolen from behind by Tudhope, and Betts has it now. He's tripped up. Wilcher can't believe there is no foul call. I'm shocked that Coach Rodney Anderson's still on his seat.
I was looking, and I'm as equally as shocked as you. I mean, that's a tough one, but 9 times out of 10, I would like to think that's a foul, right?
It's hard because it looked like, there was no real contact.
He didn't trip on nothing.
Yeah, it's tripping incidences like that are always a really, really hard call to make because sometimes, more than anything for a referee, it's hard to see whose leg hits who and who actually causes that trip because it's just as likely that, he was the one that clipped ankles and fell over. So, look, more often than not, you would call it. That situation from where I was, a little bit hard to see, but I'm happy with a no call in that particular instance based on what I saw. But, yeah, tripping's an interesting one.
I mean, the only way you could really call it is if you go for the trip, right?
Yeah.
Or it could be a body foul, like a block, I guess. Reese gets good position, skips it over to Betts, and they're going to reset. Townsville's up 5, 31-26. Betts goes to the baseline, skips it over to Tudhope, back inside. Nice pass out to Anderson, three-pointer off the side of the rim, and Jake Allen recovers. Whitehead gets to the rim to lay it in. It looks easy, but that's a really nice kick ahead for Dirksen.
Yeah, no, it really was a good kick ahead. And
Anderson
on the smack.
Two-hand slam along the baseline. Nice dish there from Mines.
Whitehead showing you why he's one of the best scorers in the league. He's had a couple of great drives.
Allen goes back to the left-handed hook. Can't get it to fall. Then there's a foul inside.
Little frustration foul from Jake Allen. Had a little hack. A couple of good looks haven't fallen for him, so he had a little hack.
Don't know who they gave that one to. Did they give it to Jake Allen?
Well, that's what Mark certainly looked like he was giving it to.
Allen gets a breather. Dalton's going to check in. Spartans have 2 team fouls. No team fouls at the moment for the Heat. They're up 5. Reese working against Dalton in the block. Picks up his dribble. Now Betts has it. Reese going to work against Hastings. Left-hand shot. Tipped in from Tudhope. I thought that might have been offensive goaltending, but
I think it just popped out, and he got it just at the right time.
That's a great tip. Good steal there from Ethan Betts. He's got some speed on him. Layup is good. And Coach Scheibner going to take a timeout. Let's keep it here, Dave, because Townsville made some adjustments at the break, and they're really starting to run away with it a bit here to start the second.
Well, they are. I'm not. My math is a little shaky come Sunday afternoon, but it's something like a 10-0 run the last few minutes, I think, Johnny. And primarily, it's just with a bit of sloppiness in transition, and equally, Townsville just too easy defensively. That energy we said, can they keep it up for 40 minutes? well, already in the second quarter, and they're showing they can't keep it up.
It's a
early.
9-point lead here for Townsville, and I think a lot of it is back from their defense as well. I think Townsville kind of packing it up a little bit, really focusing on trying to keep Spartans out of the paint, doing a pretty good job of it, and controlling the glass, I think, also has helped.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, equally, too, all that first quarter was all Dalton, so he's no doubt he'll be checking back in, I'd imagine. And, again, just looking for a staple diet of Dirksen, Whitehead, and Dalton is what they need to focus on right now.
And Townsville getting contributions from everyone. Anderson has a few points. Wilcher has a few. Betts has a few. And it goes to show they're pretty, as you mentioned, we talk Caps maybe the deepest team, but Townsville definitely has an argument for that one.
Well, I think seven Townsville guys, no, 6 guys are in double figures.
Last night, yeah.
Well, no, as in for the season.
For the season, too,
so,
yeah.
They certainly have depth, and they've certainly got people all over the board.
Well, let's see if the Spartans can get a spark off of the timeout like they did last time, Dave. Dalton does have it, working against Reese. Nearly lost it, recovers out to Dirksen with 5 on the shot clock. Jamel Anderson comes up with the steal. Skip pass.
And my math was good, by the way, Regan. Were you looking at me funny? 12-2. 12-2 quarter. I can't believe you doubted me, Riggs.
You keep your stats fresh, Dave.
Yeah,
you're a methodical statistician, I should say.
I try.
Reese gets another one to fall, and the lead double figures now, 11 for Townsville.
I think it was only doubting because I can't math on a Monday, let alone a Sunday.
Dalton is inside. Lost it on the way up, but he's fouled. It's going to go against Matty Reese.
I was hoping for a bit of hammer time.
I think everyone in this place was hoping for a bit of hammer time. Checking in for Spartans, Matthew Campbell for the first time today. Jackson Todd checks back in for Townsville, and also for the first time this afternoon for Townsville, Jared Figg. Lasting image of Jared Figg. I think he was one of the most proud guys in Townsville when they won it last year when we were out on the town.
Yeah.
Certainly pretty happy to lift the trophy again.
He was. He had a bit of a fan favorite. A little bit of a cult following, right?
10 points to lead for Townsville. Mines on the wing, open 3 is up and down.
Well, I saw that happen, Again, Spartans have got to be better. Jono was on the wing. I knew it was going to be a simple kick, and they just didn't. No communication, poor rotation.
Dirksen from the wing. His 3 is off the front of the rim. Anderson.
And on the flip side, Spartans have seemed to work really hard to get anything.
Figg nearly lost it, recovers, and loses it again. Campbell gets down for it, then has it stolen by Anderson. Not sure what happened here.
What do we got here, Riggs?
Don't know if they reset the shot clock, I think.
Okay.
There was a possession for Spartans, and then it got stolen again, I think.
Yeah, I think it was just they were trying to clarify whether they deemed that very brief moment as having possession. It looks like they have, so they're going to get it reset up to 20 seconds.
Yeah, Coach Scheibner said the same thing. Was there a change of possession? I heard him say it, so he probably didn't think so. But Figg will fire short 3. Here comes Whitehead with the head of steam. Kicks it out. Dirksen steps into an open 3. It's long. Figg kicks ahead. Jono Mines uses the pump fake to lay it up and in. That's a nice dish.
Great pass. Great running from Jono Mines as well. Bit of a clinic here in the second quarter, Johnny. 17-3 run.
Dirksen working against Tudhope. Skips it over to Whitehead. Whitehead dumps it off for Dalton. Power dribble, layup short. Knocked out of bounds by Todd. It's going to stay with Spartans. We got 14 on the shot clock.
Do we know anything about why Kenny and McDowell White aren't in uniform, Johnny?
I'm not sure, Dave. I was actually quite surprised to see that. Neither play. We see both the guys here, but neither of them on the bench either. So, not really sure what's up there. Greenwich steps into a long 2. That's good. Andre Ugrinik Cuts the deficit to 13 for Spartans. Anderson, wing 3. It's too strong. Tipped up by Mines. Now Todd tips it back up and in.
Again, continuing his terrific start to the season. His activity on the offensive glass, keeping it active, and then Townsville benefited again.
Grinick misses. His team's down 15. It's a 46-31 lead for Townsville here. Fig, he'll fire from the wing. That's too strong. Tipped around, Dalton recovers. Mines comes up with the steal on Campbell. He'll go up and lay it in. You said, Dave, that they lead the QBL in steals, and they're probably approaching double figures in steals.
Well, they the Spartans statistic friends maybe missed a couple, Johnny, because they've only given them 4, which you and I both know is a little rough.
Oh.
I'd give them 8 without trying.
Mines open for 3. He
And
fires. He's fouled by Troll Mortar, so Mines can't get it to fall, but he'll go to line for 3 shots.
What do you think, Johnny? Are we right? Do you give him 8? I mean, 4 is a travesty.
I think we could probably give Jamel Anderson 4 on his own.
Yeah.
So Mines will go to the free throw line for a few shots. Got to give a shout out to Dazzler Fitness up in Townsville. Everyone else, if you are tuning in, let us know in the comments on the YouTube channel or on Facebook. We'll make sure we get you a shout out.
Is Mark Hydes tuning in, Riggs? He should be.
Well,
in Townsville.
I'm sure he is. He hasn't called out to let us know that he is, but I am sure that he is.
One of the best.
Hydes doesn't know how to use Facebook, though, does he? I mean, he's a little technologically challenged.
I think he was watching one game the other day.
Oh, big shout out to our guy, Mark Hydes, up there. I'm going to try and get out. I'm heading up to Townsville in the end of June for a week or so see if I can catch up with Hydesy.
Where was our invite? Nothing but Net Media road trip up to Townsville. Have a nice, relaxing weekend away.
To Guana family, catching up with the in-laws up in Ingham and Townsville. Gonna take the wife back to the hometown for a bit. Maybe catch a Heat game or a Flames game, you know. Sure, my wife would love us checking out some QBL while we're on holiday. Well, no, I know Corinne would support it.
I mean, we're all about touring Queensland, Johnny. Are you saying that Townsville is getting a bit boring, heading up there come finals time?
No,
change the scenery.
I love Townsville.
What about Rocky last night? Average.
Don't know what happened to Rocky. Yeah,
a lot of the starting 5 played big minutes too.
Yeah, well, that's, when we saw them a few weeks ago at Gold Coast, we said they were going to have to play some big minutes.
Yeah.
18-point the lead here for Townsville.
Back in, Johnny, last night.
Oh, it's good to have him back. They need him back for sure.
But he, the big donut.
Oh, he's been out for a few weeks.
So rough for him to get back, but he's certainly a quality guy. That'll be really good for them. Again, I think they're the kind of team that could pull a sneaky Cairns, and I don't think you want to face them come finals time with the guys they have.
Whitehead reverse layup is good. Yeah, I think. I honestly, I don't know about you, but I'm still quite surprised. I knew the Capitals would be good, but I didn't think they'd be undefeated at this point. Rocky, I think a lot of people said in the preseason would probably be the favorite for the title, but you look at their record and, they're probably not where they'd like to be. I think a lot of people were probably sleeping on Townsville, and they come into this afternoon with only one loss. Cairns has had a couple tough losses, but also a couple nice wins, so it's still a very wide-open competition, Dave.
Absolutely.
It's going to be another exciting finish, I think, as Grinick comes up with the steal, kicks ahead to Whitehead to lay it up and in, plus the foul. Betts got him with the body. It's a good kick again, though. A bit of defense to offense, and Spartans could use a little bit more of that, Dave.
Yeah, they could. And again, the last few minutes again have been back into the level of D that you'd expect. Good energy. You saw that group then the last couple of minutes again have been really good, active, moving on the flight of the ball, good hand up in rotation. And then Whitehead breaks out for the simple transition layup. He's putting his own little highlight reel together, hasn't he, Johnny? A couple of beautiful layups.
Some great layups. I think timeout taken on the floor. We'll take a quick one as well. We're under 2 minutes to go in the half. It's a 13-point lead for Townsville over the Spartans. And your QBL Game of the Week presented to you by Nothing But Net Media. Welcome back to Roland Cowan Stadium. Under 2 minutes to go in this one. It's a 13-point lead for Townsville. Spartans come out in a bit of a trap. Figs open, wing three up off the side of the rim. Grinick comes up with the rebound. Here comes Whitehead. Got ahead of steam. A lot of contact, no call. Whitehead misses. Tipped around. Good activity, and Grinick is fouled by Todd on his way to the basket.
Good. It was a good attempt from Todd, but just a little off. Good call.
Very good call and good activity and nice rebound there from Sam Korst, keeping that offensive rebound alive. Pretty young lineup out here for Coach Scheibner. And again, remember talking to him in the preseason, he said, we're going to be young, we're going to be inexperienced, but he likes the group that he has because they're hungry and they're willing to work and play hard. And that's the kind of player that Coach Scheibner likes.
Well, I think, and equally, this is his angry Shibes lineup, i.e., Jakey Allen and Dirksen haven't given him a spark so far, and so he's just gone, I'm going to go young then, and we'll see how we go.
Grinick missed them both.
Equally, it's always the balance with some of those veteran guys because you're going to need them. So maybe just a bit of an uppercut in the second quarter. See if they can come out start of the third. I mean, since this, they've had a 10-8 run, Spartans, the last few minutes. So other than that, but before that they had a 10-8 run, so they certainly have played better the last few minutes of the second quarter.
That's beautiful zone offense from Townsville on that possession. As Grinick responds with a little teardrop. Dave, 2-3 zone, you always say weak spots, middle of the court and short corner. As Anderson hits his first three of the afternoon.
Yeah, just lazy D. Just too easy.
There's Dalton working against Todd. Jab step, jumper short. Wiltshire grabs a rebound. Then getting called for the foul, Rob McCowan.
Good fundamentals there from Dalton. The jab, the quick jab made Todd put his hand down, which then opened up the nice simple jump shot.
The
legend Roger Smith in the house.
Wiltshire will go to the free throw line for a couple shots. And Wiltshire, I think another thing that's an unsung part of his game is his rebounding. I think he gets himself in some great position to rebound.
Yeah.
And I think that's a real challenge, especially for young guards, to realize and to pick that up.
Is that because you're saying because he's only 4 foot, you're wondering how he gets? Is that what you're alluding to, Johnny?
Well, I mean
he is
not really.
He is one of your favorite players.
I got a lot of favorites. I definitely do. Whitehead loses it out of bounds.
Nah, I'm just messing with you, Butch. No, he does. Just fundamentals, really strong fundamentals, and just putting your body on the line, boxing your guy out. It's really that simple. But the good ones do it consistently.
Tough bucket there for Betts. It was right through the defense. It wasn't bad D either. Lead out to 21 here for Townsville. Spartans going to hold. They probably can hold for the final shot of the half. Whitehead gets it to Dalton, uses the pump fake, steps into a long 2 off the front of the rim. Wiltshire with the rebound.
No one hitting the glass.
Kicks it ahead. Tipped out of bounds by Ugrinik. And that's going to do it for the first half. And just as we thought the Spartans were getting themselves back into this one, Dave, you look up and they're down 21. It was pretty clinical there from Townsville in that second quarter.
Yeah, and they certainly fought back in that second quarter, which was positive. But I think for me, the level of up and down is just far too much. You can't be good for 2 minutes and pretty rubbish for 3 or 4 minutes. And in this level of competition, although it doesn't sound like much, and you look up and you're down 20.
Yeah.
So again, you got to expect that. I mean, having McDowell, White, and Kenny out's a bit rough. So, but they're going to need Jake Allen and Dirksen to perform in this third and fourth quarter if they're going to have a chance of coming back.
And you look at the score sheet for Spartans, they've got Whitehead has 16, Dalton has 13, and that's pretty much it. And then you look on the opposite side of the scoreboard, and you see Wiltshire with 15, John O'Mine's got 19, Jamel Anderson's got 9, Ethan Betts has 7. It's a really well-balanced attack from Townsville. It's not one guy really doing it all, where at the moment, if it's not coming from Whitehead or Dalton, the Spartans don't know where to find it from.
Yeah, 1 of 10 for Jake Allen and Dirksen combined, so a little rough in the first half. But at the same time, they're also the kind of team who've proven that they can have great energy, so they just got to get some guys to get some stops, build a bit of momentum, chip away, get it back to 10-ish by the start of the third, and they're a chance, right? Because Dalton and Whitehead certainly are really good covers, and then the other guys hopefully can step in and contribute.
Well, we'll see what happens. It is halftime, so we'll take a break. We'll come back with some second half, the halftime statistics and the second half of action. Your QBL Game of the Week presented to you by Nothing But Net Media, Australian Sports Network, Stream Team Australia, and of course, Basketball Queensland. Back with you here at Roland Cowan Stadium. It's halftime, and the Townsville Heat are up on the Southern District Spartans, 61-40. Impressive first half for Townsville, Dave. I know you were pouring through the statistics at halftime. What's really jumping out at you as we get ready for the second half?
Well, the interesting one is the ball security for Townsville. We said they were number 1 in the league, and they just proved it. 2 turnovers for the first half, which is pretty impressive. And Spartans had 10, which isn't disastrous, but obviously too many if they're going to be a threat today. So really in the second half, if they can't clean up the ball security, then Spartans are in trouble. And for Townsville, they did a really good job moving the ball. Mines and Wiltshire, 19, 15 respectively, shooting at 51%. So they're certainly well in control. And as you said, they got contributions from everyone in that first half. For the Spartans, 41% from the floor, 33 from 3. Really, Whitehead and Dalton were the only 2 at the bottom of the scorers, with 29 of their Spartans 40 points. So again, they didn't need to involve the other guys, and hopefully they get something from Dirksen and Jake Allen in this second half.
Yeah, you mentioned Dirksen there. We saw him sitting on the bench during the warm-up, so not sure if he's not feeling great or injured or what, but he certainly didn't see himself in that first half, and he has been a real key to this Spartans group to start this season. So if he can't find the court, it could be a long second half for Spartans.
Yeah, so I'd just like to see them, really compete. That's the key, I think, and Coach Shives would be after, is guys looking for opportunities. And as a player, you can't ask for more than that. There's opportunities for minutes. So hopefully there's guys that can get out there and do some damage for the Spartans.
Townsville coming in to the season, back-to-back champions, certainly looking for the three-peat in that first half. They were pretty impressive, Dave. What do you think of their championship credentials after seeing them live for 10 minutes, or 20, I should say?
Yeah, they look really good. Obviously, no Baker, no Froling is a bit different this year, but equally, the league's not a huge league, so they've got a lot of guys that can, a lot of guards that are strong. So I think equally it looks like a championship quality team, that's for sure.
Good sign for Spartans as Dirksen hits the turnaround jumper to start the half. Maybe just resting a bit during those warm-ups. Bit of zone here from Spartans. Betts swings it. Wiltshire uses the pump fake, gets back behind the three-point line and drains it.
Cash.
He's very smooth and very methodical in how he operates. It's really impressive to watch.
Well, just that modern skill set of the catch three, fake, and then just the quick adjustment to the left or the right or even back, and just an elite skill set.
Allen dumps it off. Grinick lays it in. Spartans would love to see more of that, forcing some turnovers and getting a couple easy ones in trance. Mines in the corner, open for 3. It's off. Reese lost the offensive rebound. And Whitehead turns it over. Wiltshire open for 3. He rattles that one home as well. And that's just been typical of the afternoon. Spartans do something good but turn it over and they get hurt with a bucket.
Yeah.
Dirksen looking inside for Allen. Spins left. Kicks it out to Dirksen with 3 on the shot clock. Uses the pump fake. Fires. Off on the side. There's a foul inside. Looks like it's going to go against Jonathan Mines. His first personal. The team's first as well.
Townsville boys frustrated by a couple of calls. Not their way. Early in the third. Again, it's just a good job of Jake Allen putting pressure on the offensive glass. Whitehead amongst the trees.
Yeah, he can certainly fill it up.
Shout out to Matty Cochran, listening, Johnny. Teacher extraordinaire.
Wiltshire with his third 3 of the third. Matty, see, he looks a bit like Wiltshire. Is there any connection there?
No,
we're not really sure.
I think Matty probably says he's a better shooter.
Matty can fill it up with the best of them as Dirksen drops one in. 22-point lead here for Townsville. Dirksen starting to cook a bit. Mines goes left, stripped on his way up. It's out of bounds off of Spartans, so it's going to stay with Townsville.
Well, this is where, just for that play then, he's just going to be a little more mature and patient as well. So, you know, they don't just need any old bucket and drive. He really drove on 3 black jerseys.
Hope will fire from 3. That's good.
And that was the difference, just that extra patience. Mines with a good read just by making that extra pass for the wide open 3, getting a bucket for his teammate.
Yeah, the 3s are flowing here for Townsville. Whitehead goes up for the reverse layup and gets it to fall.
18 for Whitehead.
Betts hands off. Mines is wide open, top of the key 3.
They've just really loosened this closing out on the 3-point line.
Good skip pass ahead. Dirksen goes right at the defense, misses the layup. Allen can't grab the rebound, gets down for it, goes out of bounds. Not sure what they're going to call here.
Yellow ball. Yellow ball.
Right. Went out of bounds off Jake Allen. Reese working against Dalton. They swing it around the perimeter. Wilcher feeling it. That one, though, was a brick. Now Whitehead has it for Spartans. We're going to cut into a 23-point deficit. Dalton fires the top of the key 3. He gets it to fall. Shooting the ball well here this afternoon, Dalton. I think those 3-point shots will open up some of those looks inside for him. Hope working against Ugrinik. Tries to dump it in, and Whitehead steals it. Now Dirksen's open. He'll fire a wing 3. That's good for Josh Dirksen. Starting to get himself a little more involved. Deficit's 18 now for Spartans.
Yeah, good job from Whitehead in transition too. Just probing. He had a kick ahead to Dalton, who wanted it on the right-hand side, but he decided that on the left he saw Dirksen.
Dalton kicks ahead for Jake Allen, going right at the defense. He slipped. Wilcher gets inside, dumps it off for Hope. Left-hand layup, no good. Dirksen grabs the rebound.
Well, I think this is not the pace the Spartans want to be playing, Johnny, because Townsville can have the depth to keep going at this rate. A good offensive set here. Allen's on the slowdown and the spin.
And then he picks up the foul. It's not a bad look for Jake Allen. A shot he can comfortably hit, but he makes it worse by picking up that foul, I think, Dave.
He does, and just frustration.
Mitchell Elliott checks in, as does Sam Korst. They're on the court with Dirksen, Dalton, and Whitehead. Townsville answers with Anderson, Hope, Wilcher, Mines, and Reese. Mines can't find that 3-point shot here to start the second half. Dalton guarded by Anderson. He'll fire a deep 3 and swishes that one as well.
Dalton. Anderson up and in. Had a little jab. Dalton says, take that.
14 points of deficit here. Wilcher stops and pops. It's long. Tipped out by Reese. Good hands. And Mines now. Step back jumper is up. And Dalton nearly got it off the rim, but it fell in. Foul inside by Matty Reese. Has Dalton trying to cut through the paint there?
Well, good quarter so far for Spartans. I've liked what they've done offensively too. They've just run a bit of better action down this end in the half court, and equally they've looked to push in trans, and that just, they're up 19-12 in this quarter, and they just look a whole lot better.
What do you like defensively, Dave? Because I think that's really where they have been struggling today.
Well, I actually think they've been lucky is any reason why they're up this quarter. Wiltsh's obviously hit threes. You know, mine's had a couple of open ones. Tito had an open one, and they've just missed, to be honest. I think
Cameron Dalton.
Dalton's playing horse.
The ballet lessons work there for Cal Dalton.
So I think defensively they're competing, but they are losing guys on the three-point line, and Townsville have just missed.
Anderson's three rolls in and out. Renee Mortar has it now for Spartans. Dalton feeling it, fires a deep one. That one rattles home as well. Cal Dalton turning into Dirk Nowitzki out here this afternoon. His team's down 11. Wiltshire inside pass. Anderson lays it in. Nice
Good action.
Nice pass there.
Great screen. Great screen from the veteran Reese.
Matty Reese gets called for the foul. A holding foul. Reese can't believe it, but it's going to be his first person. Where am I looking? His third personal, that's what I thought. I was looking at the wrong side of the scoreboard, sorry. Third personal there on Reese. Gets a deflection, does Reese. Then he gets the kick-ahead pass from Anderson. Matty Reese was looking for a pass.
There can't be two. They can't give him two shots. Surely, Johnny.
Well, I mean, Reese should have been going up for the shot, but he clearly passed it back.
I think, well, that's rough too.
Unsportsmanlike foul.
Regan, bring in Regan on this.
Regan, please. Unfortunately,
Regan's in a little bit of a bad position where he can't see from his producing deck. So I have a very tiny screen to actually see the situation. Now, you would be right in a normal circumstance. If the foul is called and the pass-off then happens, the new rule dictates that is not two shots. If you don't follow through with the shot, it is no longer two shots. As the unsportsmanlike foul, from the tiny screen I was watching, the only thing I can think to justify is that it was heavy contact. There was seemingly a fair amount,
is
but
it because
again,
he's ahead of the play and the foul happens as he's open to the basket?
So that rule's changed a little bit as well. It's more so now any foul where you're intentionally playing the body to stop a shot or a play up the court on a fast break is an unsportsmanlike foul immediately. But again, I couldn't see. Sorry, small screen, can't tell.
It's a good definition.
Yeah, good breakdown for us, for sure.
I don't agree with it.
It's the rules.
What's the purpose of a good hard foul? Is to stop them from shooting the ball. I got no problem with discretion for the referees on stupidity, but there's a big difference between I'm trying to hurt someone and I'm committing a good hard foul.
Yeah, look, as long as they're making a play at the ball, you can intentionally try and stop the play. It's more so the fast break. So if you make a bad pass, turn it over, and then they start the fast break and you intentionally grab them to stop it, that's just stupid.
Absolutely.
That's not a basketball act.
Nah, agreed.
But on a situation like here, down in the bucket, he was obviously trying to foul to try and stop the shot. The referee's justification would have come down to, was he playing the ball or was he playing the player? And if you're playing the player, it is an unsportsmanlike foul.
Oh, that's a great breakdown, and thank you for that, Regan. I think that you can certainly assume that was why the foul was called an unsportsmanlike on that particular possession, as Mortar is going to get to the free throw line for a couple shots.
And I like what Mortar just did, Johnny. I was literally just going to say that a couple plays before is he can't just be a passenger and think himself lucky he's getting some minutes. He's a talented offensive player, and he can shoot the lights out. He's just got to back himself and continue to be a threat in this Spartans offense.
The Spartans have fought their way back to within 13 points. And you got to think if that's the kind of play that maybe you'll give him another bit of a spark, but it doesn't help when you miss two free throws there.
Yeah.
But he comes up with the steal, goes right at the rim and lays it up and in. 11 points to the lead now for Townsville. Wiltshire gets past the defense. Fig inside. Todd swings it. Tudhope over to Wiltshire now inside again. Tudhope now top of the key three. That's good.
Well, Greenwich, he can't sag in like that. He's got to stay home on his guy, and he just gave up an unnecessary space. And really the last couple times, and probably primarily most of today, they're just getting caught in over-rotation and over-helping unnecessarily. And again, they've just given them so much space to shoot 3 balls. They're lucky they're not down 25
well,
or 30.
Townsville's been shooting the ball extremely well from three as well. You know, I think they've had 10 threes so far in the game. Whitehead working on Betts, gets inside, kicks it over. Ugrinik fires a 3 that's off the side of the rim. Tudo, big rebound.
Whitehead's been really good today, Johnny. Mixing up his game, getting feet in the paint.
That's a tough pass from Anderson. Whitehead puts on the Jets, goes right past the defense, lays it in with the left hand. It's a pretty layup there from Whitehead.
On cue.
Got to string a couple of stops together, do the Spartans. They're down 12, under a minute left in the third. Todd skips it, Tudhope feeling it deep 2, in and out. Big offensive rebound. Then they're going to get Todd for the kick ball. He lost the rebound off his foot.
Well, we said the goal for the Spartans fans, get it to 10. They got to be happy. They're within a sniff of 12.
44 seconds left.
They get a score and a stop, quarter over, and they're feeling a lot better about themselves.
Whitehead goes left, fakes the pass, puts it up with the left hand and misses. That was tough. Mines wants to work a bit of clock here.
About 7-second differential on the clock.
Betts gets inside, floater is too strong. Tipped around, Betts recovers, and he's fouled on Mitchell Elliott.
And that all came about on a poor closeout. Poor closeout, let him get middle, which created the shot and then the offensive rebound.
Third personal on Mitchell Elliott, gonna send Ethan Betts to the free throw line for a couple shots.
Big Paul Foster's no doubt listening up in Townsville, Johnny G.
I mean, if Foss isn't listening, something's wrong.
Foss is definitely listening. He's been very active on the Facebook post as well. So thank you for tuning in, Paul, as always.
Betts hits them both, puts his team back up by 14. Spartans have just over 5 seconds to get a shot off. Ane Mortar throws one up, it's off, and that's going to be the end of the third quarter here from Roland Cowan Stadium. A 14-point lead for Townsville. Spartans doing a pretty good job chipping it away, but Townsville got a little momentum, I think, heading into the quarter-time break, Dave.
Yeah, they did, and you know, you asked me what are Spartans doing well, and I was maybe a bit frank, but realistically, I didn't think they were great defensively. I just thought offensively they were better. Defensively, they had to clean up some stuff. I mean, still, you know, they've allowed 82 with another 10 minutes to go, and you know, Townsville will probably want to score in that 100-point bracket, but if you want to try and beat them, you can't allow that. So I think defensively they can clean up some stuff, but certainly a good third quarter from the Spartans.
It was a great third quarter of action. We're going to be back shortly with the final quarter of action as the Townsville Heat lead the Southern District Spartans by 14. Your QBL Game of the Week presented to you by Nothing But Net Media. Back with you here at Roland Cowan Stadium, getting set for the final quarter of action in your QBL game of the week. Townsville Heat up by 14 on the Southern District Spartans, 82-68. Anderson, great position inside, finishes over and through Dirksen. Really good take there, and a nice short cut there from Anderson getting inside the paint. Get Dalton now on the block, working against Jamel Anderson. Dalton picks up his dribble, shoots the hook shot, and gets it to fall.
Good growth in Dalton so far this year, which is pleasing for Spartans and Bullets fans. I just like that he's, really demanding the ball, which is a lot better than last year.
Whitehead gets called. No, Dirksen got called for the blocking foul. Thought it was Whitehead reaching in. Here's Fig. Finds a cutting Jonathan Mines. A lot of contact. They had to at least call the travel if they weren't calling the foul on that.
Yeah.
Dirksen's open for three, goes behind his back. Gonna reset with Whitehead. Dalton, good pump fake, steps into the three. That's off the side of the rim.
Looking like Dirk Nowitzki, right? Whew.
Hey, he's got a
shot
fake,
nice quick dribble.
It's a good-looking jump shot. Don't know how Betts kept his dribble alive there. Allen missed it, but Whitehead has it. Stops at the free throw line, drives, shoots, and scores. Just gonna wipe up a bit of moisture on the court on the other end. That's why we have the whistles.
Friendly Spartan rims. They certainly look a little soft. The ball bounces around a fair bit.
You've had a few shots up around here, haven't you, Dave?
Over the years, yep. I think in the good old days, you either started at Spartans or Brisbane. So
game's grown a bit.
A lot of us
don't age yourself, Dave.
Older
but
folk.
You've seen a few new associations spring up over the years. Involved in a few.
Logan and Southwest and Northside all have grown and. Oh, great D. They deserve that one. Great D from NA Mortar. And then really good action from Dirksen as well. Being active and denying.
It's Jamel Anderson's second personal, the first team foul for Townsville. 8:20 to go in this one.
Is this the best behaved you've seen Coach Anderson, Johnny G? It has helped that he's been up the whole way.
It definitely has helped. His team's been playing pretty well.
Oh,
maybe he took his cue from Draymond Green turning over a new leaf.
Well, Draymond, he still has a few games to decide, to work out if he's turned over a new leaf or not, but.
Mines, flutters, good. That's a tough bucket there from Jonathan Mines.
Good old Draymond. He got handed the business, game one.
Yeah, Siakam was Siakaming him the whole game pretty much, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he had, I think when he was guarding, he had 18 on him, I think.
Yeah, it was good, really good game.
I'm just more looking forward to how Green bounces back. I'm pretty sure that won't happen again this series now. Poking the bear.
Mines, three-pointers off the front of the rim. Matty Reese keeps it alive, though, for Townsville. Get an extra possession out of this. Reese, top of the key three, it's up. Too strong. Mortar comes down with the rebound. But we usually see Coach Anderson quite animated. He's been quite reserved so far today as Cal Dalton gets called for the blocking foul. Coach Scheibner gonna take a timeout, so we're gonna take one as well. 7:13 left in this one. Heat up by 14, 86-72 in your QBL Game of the Week, presented to you by Nothing But Net Media. Back with you at Roland Cowan Stadium. 86-72 the lead for the Heat over the Spartans. Just feels like Spartans feel like they should be out of this one by now, Dave, but they're hanging around a bit. They just can't get those consistent stops to keep themselves going as Wiltshire fires a three and drains it.
Well, that's the thing. It's hard to be consistent when you've got to keep going to the bench and hoping guys can come in and do something, and you're getting hit and miss results from that.
Dirksen goes to the rim. His layup attempt is off.
Again, no one on the glass. Just the little things, Johnny, that they're not doing as well. And then in transition, don't stop the ball, don't find the runners.
And there's a great kick ahead there from Ethan Betts. Team's up 19 now. I should say for Ethan Betts from John O'Mines. Whitehead met at the rim, and he's fouled by Matty Reese. I'll tell you, I mean, Dave, I'm going to put it out there.
Here we go.
You guys know I'm a huge basketball fan. I always have been. I love the game. But the one thing I cannot stand is after every single possession, anytime the referees call, everyone's always complaining about it. If you let players referee a game the way they think it should be called, there would be never one foul called in any game. I mean,
yeah,
I don't understand why people complain about after every single call, and it doesn't change anything. It just takes some of the love away, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure what planet Reese was on. It was a foul, and then that offensive will certainly not make him too happy. Is that 5 or 6 now?
That's his 5th, so Reese is done now. Two-Dub's going to have to check back in.
I meant 4 or 5. Catching on to you, Johnny. Well, he can't complain anymore.
No, he can't. And I'm not just singling out Matty Reese because it's every single whistle. I mean, you look at it, and every time there's a whistle blown or a foul called, every player.
Long 2 from Dirksen.
Lines. Gets called for the offensive foul.
Good call. I thought she was going to go the other way.
No, it's a good. He just got himself out of control, and
it was a good call.
He had Wiltshire wide open. He just tried to force his way to the rim. Deficit's 18 for Spartans. Under 6 left in this one. Whitehead, skip pass to Mortar. He'll step into a long 2, and that's good. It's good offense, a good recognition there. Probably could have popped the 3, but drives the lane and gets a better shot.
Yeah, and he certainly can shoot the 3, Joel Mortar.
Mines going to the left, up and under lap, no good. But he's fouled, so Mines will get to the free throw line for a couple shots. So Coach Rod Anderson, I think, one of the many reasons his players love playing for him is he backs him 100%. And earlier in the season, see up in Townsville, Rod on the TV, questioning why no NBL clubs are looking at John O'Mines. What do you think of Jonathan Mines' NBL prospects, Dave?
Well, it's always tough when the guards aren't real big. It's just shifted to, a length economy. If you look at Milwaukee a few years ago when Jason Kidd was in charge, they were trading, and they were literally recruiting on measurements and length and arm and wingspan and so forth. And so now I think that Milwaukee group, their smallest guy started was 6'7", as an example. And so if that's the shift to tall guards and long guards, then guys like the Wiltshire or Mines, they're always going to struggle. And you've saw Sean Bruce. I mean, he was out of the league. He's back in the league in the NBL this year. But certainly guys like John O'Mines, got to keep working hard. He probably is going to get an invite, I would like to think, into some NBL camp this season based on 22 points a game in the QBL. So
Mitch Elliott gets to the rim, misses the layup though, but you got to think, and he's been hanging around some of the NBL clubs as well.
Well, for me, I think his three looks better. His change of speed looks better. Defensively, I think he still needs to...
Anderson misses the dunk, gets it back, and puts it down this time with 2 hands.
If at first you don't succeed, try again, Jamal. And with Jono, I think just some of that maturity in offense we talked about. He made a couple of, poor decisions, and I think that's the next level jump for him as well that he needs to make. But he certainly made some good strides this season.
How about his versatility, Dave? 2, 1. He could play a bit of 1, 2, even a bit of 3.
He is a true combo guard, for sure.
Yeah, and we'll keep it here. Let's keep talking a bit of NBL. I would have thought with the introduction to another club probably opens up a few more opportunities for some of these young guys, at least in that maybe developmental space. But you see the Phoenix going with a fairly veteran roster, and a lot of the clubs looking to bring in some talent maybe from Europe, or some of those guys that used to play NBL, maybe are out of the league for a little bit, but giving them an opportunity like a Bruce. I was surprised in a way to see Adam Gibson go down to the Phoenix. That's another spot that a younger guard, is not going to get a look at as well. So I think it's interesting to see, if you're building a club and looking to grow the game, where are those opportunities in the NBL for young guys? Is it at that developmental spot?
Well, it's tough too, because you've either got to, ride the pine and literally don't play for, a year or 2 or 3 sometimes in that development player role. But at the same time, whilst the money's fairly poor, you get to train against professional athletes all day, every day, and lift weights and shoot 500 shots and all that good stuff. So I think it's important for them to put in the hard work and stay focused on the end game, which is they got to bide their time and put in the work. And if they don't go the collegiate route, then they're going to have to sit in practice in an NBL squad in the 14th, 15th spot sometimes, possibly for free. And that just is what it is. But I'm the same. I think there's not a whole lot of new blood. Like Obi Shea got a gig in Adelaide, which is interesting. I think there'll be some young talent in Cairns that might get an opportunity. They kind of cleaned out that roster a bit too.
Whitehead floats one in. Yeah, Obi Shea did kind of went a bit of the reverse, not necessarily the reverse route, but had that huge season with Logan in the QBL, went over to Spain and grew his game and really expanded it as well, and had a good year and leveraged 2 successful kind of back-to-back seasons into an NBL gig. Because I was quite surprised that he didn't get a look off the back of the QBL season as well, but maybe it's the opportunity in Europe was there, and it was a sure thing, so you take something like that.
Yeah, and it's always tough for those kind of guys where they not like to try and get a bit of income, right? I mean, it's tough for them to do it for free all the time.
Wiltshire, great pass. Kyle fires the 3. It's off the side of the rim. Dalton kicks ahead for Whitehead, who recovers, leaves his feet, and turns it over. Under 3 minutes to go. 16-point game here. Townsville looking to seal this one. Wiltshire loses his footing. And Mitchell Elliott grabs the rebound. Now Whitehead dumps it back out. Dalton, wing 3. Too strong. And that's the other thing too, Dave. Bringing it back from the NBL into this conversation and the game here. You have a guy like Cal Dalton who probably could have gone to, I'm sure that he could have gone to Division I college, and maybe he still might. I don't know, but he sticks around, signs with the Bullets as a developmental player, and I follow the Bullets. I go to a lot of their games, and you don't see him on the court, and he's working out every single day, but you got to think. Does that help your development where it needs to be if you want to get into that professional game?
Yeah, it's always difficult, isn't it, the stay home versus the college route. And 1.
Dalton flips it up and in.
No call on the Todd hack.
Mortar steals it and lays another one in, so they're not going away. The Spartans, they're down 12 with 2 minutes to go.
No, they've done a good job of fighting in the second half, that's for sure.
Todd dumps it off. Mine's reverse layup is too strong.
They're a +6 in the second half, John.
Whitehead. Dalton pump fakes. Gets to the rim to lay it up and in. It's a 10-point game. But again, like Dalton was so hot in the third quarter. These are his first 2 attempts of the fourth quarter, and there's 2 minutes left in the game. Tudhope hands off for Wilcher and sets the screen for Welch. Welch falling down, misses. It's tipped by Todd, and Tudhope gonna work some clock. Wilcher felt the contact, gets the shot to fall anyway. That's a tough bucket from Josh Wilcher.
Probably rightfully looking for the M1.
There's Dalton with it. No look pass out to Elliott. Elliott gets to the rim, lays it in. 10-point game, 1 minute and 1 second left in this one. You know, we said it before the game, Spartans are never gonna give up. It's gonna be really difficult though, Dave, and yeah, credit to the Spartans and the group that they have out there. They're fighting away. They're not gonna let it go. There's Whitehead fouling Jonathan Mines. 15 fouls, so Mines will go to the free throw line for 2 shots.
Not really sure what that was about.
Don't know, they want to try and extend the game, I guess. Make Townsville win it. You know, you don't want to, I guess you don't want to give it up just yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, equally, it's just get a stop. Play good D for 20 seconds and...
Mines hit them both. Dalton wing 3, too strong. Mortar tips it up, that misses. Jamel Anderson grabs the rebound. Under pressure, he gets called for the offensive foul. Really good pressure there from Charles Mortar. Drawing the offensive foul on Jamel Anderson. Is the 15th foul because it's offensive though, no free throws?
Yeah, correct. Any offensive foul doesn't give you free throws in bonus.
Whitehead stepped out of bounds. Just like that's been the Spartans this afternoon. They've been hanging around, doing good things, and then silly turnover.
Yeah,
and it kills any momentum they have.
Forward 1 and back 2 has been the majority of their action this afternoon.
Looks like Spartans are going to let them pretty much run the clock out, and it will be another Townsville win. They'll come down to Southeast Queensland and pick up two wins out of 2 games. And again, as Wilcher gets called for the foul, trying to pressure the ball, but pretty impressive from Townsville today. You knew the Spartans were going to scrap from the tip to the final whistle. They're showing that here, but I think Townsville took everything that the Spartans had and had a really good response for everything.
Yeah, they did, I think. And again, just another, really good test for Townsville. Spartans certainly worked hard most of the game. It wasn't through a lack of effort. I think it was just that execution is where they struggled a little bit at times. But certainly a good win for the Townsville crew.
Anderson puts it down with authority. That's the exclamation point on the big win here for Townsville. But really good to see Anderson back on the court in Townsville. Also good to see Wilcher back, and it's going to be an interesting group. I think, from a bench perspective, they got pretty decent production out of the bench as well.
Yeah.
Probably not the big names that they had last season with Froling not returning and Justin Baker taking the season off. So you bring back a versatile player in Jamel Anderson and an all-league guard in Josh Wilcher. You combine them with a Jonathan Mines and a Keegan Tudhope, Ethan Betts, Matty Reese. I mean, this is a squad that's going to be looking for a three-peat, Dave.
Yeah, certainly. And well, as I said, they're lacking a little bit of size.
I missed the wide open layup, and it gets blocked by Ugrinik. Not sure if they blew a foul on that one. They don't. That's going to be the final whistle. So the final score will be 101-90.
That one's on the Shackton full
QBL edition.
QBL edition.
But good win here for Townsville. And I think, again, Spartans, we knew it was going to be tough for them, missing Darryl McDowell-White and Scott Kenny. But you got to be proud if you're Coach Scheidler with the scrap from the team and the effort overall. But I just don't think they have the season, the seasoning that this group from Townsville has.
Yeah, well, they won 49-40 second half. So pretty good effort. And again, to keep Townsville to 40 is much better. That's what they're after. So I think there's certainly some positive signs. And, again, I think that 3-4 or the 2-5 record from Spartans is a little harsh. But, certainly they're a team that's going to be able to compete every game.
Somehow we lost our second camera. People are probably getting sick of seeing our ugly mugs anyway, Dave. But let's go through some of those final statistics. I think, like you said, for Spartans, maybe too many turnovers, Dave. I mean, that was one thing that really jumped out at me from an offensive side of things, turning the ball over and just giving Townsville a couple opportunities to keep responding and taking advantage of that.
Yeah, I think so. And for Townsville, Reese had 4, Tudor Hope 12, Mines 25, Betts 11, Wiltshire 29 points, 6 of 12 from 3. Todd had 3, Anderson 17 as well. So, pretty good all-round production from the Heat. And for the Spartans, Greenwich had 6, Dirksen 7, Allen 2, Whitehead finished with 30, and Dalton had 32, Mortar 4, and Elliott had 5.
Give me that. Good overall performance. I'm trying to talk to our producer, Regan Baker. We lost our second camera there, unfortunately, but it's going to be, like we said, an 11-point win for Townsville. Really good win for them. I was impressed with their performance. I think the Spartans have a bit of work to do, but I do think this Spartans group could still contend for that 8th and final spot, Dave. But final thoughts before we wrap things up for good and head home.
Yeah, I think for the Spartan crew, got to keep working hard and improving. And for the Townsville, they did what they were supposed to, come and get 2 wins. And now they got to integrate some familiar faces into their roster again.
So that will wrap things up for us here this week. Don't forget, next weekend we have the Southwest Metro Pirates playing host to the Sunshine Coast Phoenix on Saturday in your QBL Game of the Week. That's going to wrap things up for us here. I do want to thank Chris Sieber on the camera, Regan Baker on the production panel, Dave Derwin on the commentary with myself, John Guarna, and of course, as always, I have to thank James Bowman and the Australian Sports Network for all of their graphics and technical support through the week. Thank you guys for tuning in to another presentation of QBL Basketball, presented to you by Nothing But Net Media, Australian Sports Network, Stream Team Australia, and Basketball Queensland. We'll see you next week.